And I knew that if it was good enough for her, because she has very, very high standards, it was gonna be good enough for me. And I've been just really, I brag about the floor. You know, like what person like brags about the flooring in an office, you know what I mean?
We love that. We love to hear that, obviously. Dr. Nima, thank you for having us today. It's a pleasure to see the space finally finished. It's very impressive. I would love to hear more about the vision behind the space, the name EOS, and what's happening over here.
Sure. Yeah, first of all, we love the flooring, and we'll kind of get into like what I brag about when I have my patients come in here, especially seeing it for the first time. I think, you know, when you're designing an office, you're trying to convey, or you're looking to convey this feeling of luxury and hominess. At the same time though, it's commercial grade. So there's a little bit more traffic through here, so it can't be something that you just have at your home. And you want something that's almost kind of unique. And most places you go to, you might see like marble tile, or the worst is like that pergo laminate that clickety clacks when people walk on it. It feels cheap when you walk on it. And with Senso floor, I was blown away by the fact that it's seamless. And that's what I brag about all the time. Like there's no seams anywhere on the floor, so it just looks like one nice piece that's throughout. And so it makes it really, really unique. And I love the fact that it is hand mixed, it's hand poured all over here, and actually hand sanded. So I can tell that it takes an artisan to do that, which again, works on conveying the overall unity of what we're trying to convey with our patients, which, you know, we care about all the details, and it shows in our office as well as what we're going to do with your plastic surgery.
It does show, it does show. It almost feels like a 5-star hotel mixed with a homey vibe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we want. We want people to feel welcome, comfortable, and admire the beauty of the office.
So tell me about the name, EOS.
Yes.
What does it stand for?
So EOS is the Greek goddess of the dawn. You know, funny stories when I was trying to think of a name for my practice, because I already knew when I was in my training that I wanted to have a brand and not just be under my name, right? Because you can't scale just your name. I wanted to have a temple devoted to facial plastic surgery. And my brother, who was in branding and marketing, gave me the advice, just like look in a dictionary. I don't know what to tell you, but like if you look in a dictionary, you'll become inspired. And I was flipping through the pages and I saw the word EOS, it's short. It stood for the Greek goddess of the dawn, which is a new day. And I thought that was, you know, very fitting for plastic surgery, because for these people, it's a rebirth, it's a new life. You know, when they get their new nose, the rebirth and the new life that comes with that confidence, the better health from breathing better. And funny enough, our main tagline that we have is, this is just the beginning. And it's meant to, again, represent like this is just the beginning of a new life. So again, it goes really, really well with the Greek goddess of the dawn.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now onto the design. There's a lot of features that seem to be very, very well thought of. And looking at the doors and the lighting, how did you find flooring, and especially Senso, being able to tie it together?
Yeah, first of all, it came through, you know, a fellow colleague of ours, another facial plastic surgeon, and he had brought it up to his designer. And, you know, truth be told, my wife did all of the designing. You know, she picked out all the finishes. Funny story, she didn't even let me see the place until we moved in.
Wow.
Before. And people were like, well, weren't you worried? I'm like, no, not really. My wife has really excellent taste. And I knew that if it was good enough for her, because she has very, very high standards, it was gonna be good enough for me. And I've been just really, I brag about the floor. You know, like what person like brags about the flooring in an office? You know what I mean?
We love that. We love to hear that, obviously. We know the project is large, you know, even for Beverly Hills standards. How big is it compared to your previous location?
Sure. So this current office is 8,500 square feet, which our old office was about a third of the size. At 8,500 square feet, we're probably the largest plastic surgery practice in Beverly Hills. We have 4 operating rooms as well. I have one associate surgeon. We just hired another one who's going to be starting, and our goal is to kind of fill this with about 4 or 5 facial plastic surgeons, you know, again, devoted to it. So yeah, wow. That's the kind of overall plan. And
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And we're talking about like, how much size do you get? And
yeah.
With our old place, we kind of learned the lesson that you think your space is going to be big enough for the time you're going to be there, but we outgrew it probably like a few years early. And so we didn't want to make that mistake with this one. So we got a little bit extra, even though it's a tiny bit of a stretch at the beginning. but down the road I think we'll be happy. And I bet that it'll probably still be too small at the end of like a few more years.
I know you guys did this in record time. There was a lot of pressure on the schedule because you wanted to use the space and had clients booked. How did it feel for you as a client, as a general contractor, almost to handle this workload?
I think you probably had more stress than I did, for sure. We built this whole place in 4 months, which is really unheard of. I mean, they were working around the clock. And I know with the scheduling can be very difficult because certain things have to be up before you can put the flooring in. And, you were very flexible and working through, like, obviously, like we just talked about, like sometimes an item is stuck on a ship offshore that needs to come in, that needs to be installed before you can put the floor in. But, we made it work. And your team really stepped up also. And I think worked very, very hard to make sure that we got done on time because we wanted to be out of our old space before the end of the year. And we moved here on New Year's. We canceled our trip. We moved here all New Year's Eve to be ready to go by January 5th.
Amazing, amazing. So with all the products out there, you have concrete and tiles and whatnot. What drove the decision to go with the Senso floor over concrete?
I think concrete's kind of played out, you know what I mean? No offense to other people, but like, it's great for certain places, right? But you go to a Costco and it's concrete on there, right? Like I didn't want my place to mirror like a Costco, for example. I wanted something, again, unique, stylish. There's no floor that's like this, right? Because each one is unique and hand poured. And you feel it, like we talked about before. You didn't have to tell me, and it's the one thing that I noticed the most is that this floor feels firm yet soft to the touch, almost as if it's like the flooring has been coated with like a suede, when the ladies in my office wear high heels, you don't hear them clacking all the way down. It's still like kind of soft and discreet. You know what I mean? It just goes along very, very well with our plastic surgery philosophy.
And what drove the decision to go with Senso over tiles?
I mean, tiles again, like the seams, right, and the kind of like ubiquity of tile floors all over the place. Finding the right tile that doesn't feel, not sturdy or cheap underneath your feet. I hate to use that word, I guess, but again, the tile just doesn't feel as luxurious, right?
Yeah. How important was the customization of the floor for you guys?
I mean, it's everything. You're spending a lot of money to design this office, and obviously you can spend, millions and millions of dollars to get every single thing that you want perfectly right. And so you got to find the right balance of something that feels luxurious and looks great. So, we wanted to create what I call like my modern classic rhinoplasty. We wanted like a modern classic office that, has like earthy tones. It's going to look great for a while. And when we showed kind of our color palette and what we were thinking, we can make this kind of unique color combination and texture to the floor, right? Because the floor is not just like one straight color. It has texture to it with slightly different colors that just complement the wallpaper and the wood and the crock wallpaper that we have, and just brings everything together. So you can see that we have olive greens and beiges and browns to give kind of like that earthy, luxurious, sophisticated, classic look.
Cool. You guys picked our terrazzo micro blend as a floor finish. It's one of our most durable products. Now that you've been using the space for a little bit, how does it feel?
It feels great. I mean, it's easy to clean, minimal upkeep. It still looks great. We don't have to worry about it, which is, it's not like some like delicate thing that you're constantly having to like touch up and care for and all the rest of that stuff. Again, very durable, and it's just a pleasure to walk on, which I've never really said about any kind of floor before,
Beautiful. Dr. Nima, thank you so much for having us today. It was a pleasure to work for you and an honor. And again, congratulations on this beautiful space.
Thank you for the wonderful job you guys did, and I really appreciate you guys coming by to say hello.
Thank you.